So I've been slacking, if I'm honest. I've not been filming. I've not even had the idea to film. I've not even had the intention to film. I'm really slacking. It's almost like I'll give up on the idea of filming because I'm so focused on editing now and posting stuff and getting back into a rhythm of that, because I went from uploading videos every single day. That taught me a lot, but it also wasn't what I wanted. I'm in between these two states of I want to just do what I feel, but I also want to be driven. And it's the difficulty of listening to your emotions that actually sway whether you do actually do what you want. You know, the comparison of being driven but yet listening to your emotions and doing what you want. I have a hard time mixing those two things, figuring out which one is the right one, to be honest. It's like going to the gym. Some days you feel it, some days you don't feel it, but most of the time you've got to go and do it. And then it's balancing that with, do you actually want to go to the gym? And the balance is doing something that's good for you and also doing something that you want. No, you can't miss the gym 7 days a week, and you can. And if you don't want to go to the gym 7 days a week, you don't go 7. So split it down the middle and go arse, I guess. But with this filming, it's saying what's on my mind, but not forcing things. It's always been not forcing things and just waffling, just speaking for the purpose of speaking. That's the difficulty with this. Almost not making up things in your head. I originally started filming these videos for any problems I might have on my mind that I can get off my chest. And you've got to be careful of not getting in the habit of speaking and saying you've got problems when you've not got problems. That's the hard part of this. Because if you've got this intention that you want to film and post every day, or that's what my original intention was, I don't have a problem every day. My life's not like that. I have thoughts every day. And that's why this channel is called Jamie Long's Thoughts, not Jamie Long's Problems. Because we're just getting off the chest what my thoughts actually are. And I think I've forgotten about that this year. I've forgotten that that's the purpose. I always remember to document, but sometimes it doesn't feel like there's something to document for me, which is interesting. Sometimes it feels like I've already got what I'm thinking off my chest before, so I don't film again. But I was thinking about this all the other day, and what happens is you don't realise as well what you've got on your chest until you start saying it out loud. And that's why I believe since my ayahuasca, which taught me get things off your chest, I think sometimes if you've not done it in a while, you start talking, you start realising what is on your chest and what have you got to say, what have you got to get out there. So the other day I was thinking, a big thing with when you get stuck in something or with something is you've just got to start. You've just got to do something. And my plan is I'm just going to film every day again, which I used to do. I used to film almost 4 times a day sometimes. But what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to put the camera on. See, originally when I started this channel, I wanted all my videos to be unedited. I wanted it to be raw, authentic, and not showing any bullshit of edits. But I've changed my mind on that stance because it is boring to watch and there's a reason people don't do it. Now, I don't necessarily want to, I still want to show just this, just me talking. And as long as I do that, I'm fine. But if I start, sometimes I think of editing stuff and making stuff fancy and making stuff interesting and entertaining, and that's okay. I've come to the conclusion that that's okay to be wanting to do that, as long as I'm keeping this my main thing of just talking to the camera. And I can edit this any way I want, and I can add different things. I can have different videos, some scripted, some not scripted, some stuff. When I say scripted, is stuff that I've thought about previously and had in my notes and wrote down. You know, I do want to do that because I find that when I write stuff down in my notes, it seems clearer because you have more time to spend on each sentence than just flowing like this. But this flow is important to me. So the other day I was thinking, what I need to do is just film every day. And on my drives, at least once a day, usually to work, like now it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Just film, and just, if any thoughts come to you, any thoughts come, and you can say them. And because I edit now a little bit, I edit the pauses, the ums, the breath, the silences, I can sit here and I can think more on what I'm going to say rather than just waffling. And I think over time you start training yourself to say more important things, to use less words, to realize the words that you're using are also valuable. So if I just sit here and put a camera on every single morning, maybe I'll capture some thoughts, maybe I won't capture some thoughts, but I don't have to come here and sit and say, what we're going to talk about today. Something might just pop up and be on my mind. And usually what I've seen as the habit that I've got into is the full journey of where I'm going. I've got to stay talking. It's a skill, this filming malarkey. And to talk on camera and have something to say is a skill. Most people turn the camera on and don't know what to say. Most people need a script because they don't know what to say. Whereas me, I can't just waffle for a full 20 minutes as I'm driving to work. But I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to film for the full journey. I can just film and say what I need to say. So I'm sort of switching the focus from filming to what am I filming? To what are the words that I'm saying? I think for the first year I've been doing this, or 2 years I think it's coming up to now, I've focused on the Jamie Long part of my channel name. Getting me comfortable with posting, filming, ideas, structures. And I think now I'm moving towards the end of my name, the thoughts. And I want to focus on that. I want to focus on saying important things, saying the right things, and using my words more carefully. And it's this journey. That's what I love about this filming. It's almost why I hate not filming and getting in this headspace of, I'm not gonna turn the camera on. I don't need to. I've got nothing to say because I've not planned anything. Because my thoughts don't come to me necessarily planned. I'll have thoughts and I'll write them in my notes, but I don't do anything with them. I might read them back every now and again. And I want to find a purpose for these notes. And this journey of filming and documenting my life, it goes on. And over 2 years, things have changed so much. And I think that's what people don't focus on when they focus on, I don't know, content creation, if that's what you want to call it. It doesn't feel like that to me. People don't focus on the journey, on change. They want to get views. They want to get hundreds of thousands of views. People message me and tell me they love my stuff and they think I deserve more views. And as much as I want it to be about the views and I want fame and popularity and money, most of all, I know that those things don't get you what you want in life. That's why I don't want it to be my aim. I do struggle with the money side of things because I want money, and a certain amount of money makes you comfortable. But I always reiterate this point that there was a time when you was younger when £100 was a lot of money for you. But for a lot of people now, it's nothing. They don't see that as valuable. So you get your first job, your next aim's 20 grand, then you get that, then your next one 25 grand, then 30 grand, then 40 grand, then you're in your maximum tax bracket of 50 grand or whatever it is. And it's always wanting this more. And with money, it's always wanting more. And with everything in life, it's wanting more. And I just see that if my focus was on views, if my focus was on popularity and fame and not being happy with 200 views or even 50 views, 20 views, how are you going to be happy with 1 million views or 100,000 views or 10,000 views when you can't be happy with 5 views? When you can't be happy with 200 views every day on TikTok? There's 200 people that you don't realise have watched. Maybe 10 of them like it. 10 people like what you do. And if you appreciate that, you don't have to chase views. You don't have to, you realise that you are getting the satisfaction from the views that you are having. You don't need more. So it's important to focus on the journey of what this channel is. That's what I always remind myself. And I also don't expect myself to be 100% all the time. The past couple of months, this year, I've still not got back into the groove of it. Even though I've made videos on this, I've not got back into the groove of actually filming. The videos that I post are old thoughts. that I still enjoy listening to, that I still like. And it's about the journey of my mental state in life, really. Because one of the things I regret doing is not filming when I was younger. Because I think we get lost in life. We forget what we've been through. We forget who we used to be. And unless you actually physically see what's happening, you forget the change and you forget how big the change is. I think about this and I think, if I quit this, what would it be like? It'd be peace. I would be less busy. But it's almost worth it, because to see the change over 5-10 years of a person, when do we ever get to see that? Truly. Filming almost every week, let's say. See the change over 10 years of someone personally. Most of the time you don't get to see that and appreciate that. And appreciate who you've become. See the negatives, see the positives in your change. And life's just beautiful with the journey. You don't have to have this big massive goal that you have to attain. Cliche, but it is all about the journey. There's so many emotions and things that go into the journey that make life meaningful. So many things to feel in life: sadness, joy, pain, love, throughout the journey of your existence. And so much change that happens that I enjoy documenting that and the thoughts that come with that. And that's sort of where my focus is. It's not each video that comes out, even though I can get sidetracked with what am I filming about. It's now not necessarily about that, and that's why I'm changing to, I think I'll just stick the camera on, and if I say something, and if the video's 2 minutes long, but most of the time it won't be, because I can waffle on for dear life once I start. But yeah, that's my plan. So peace.